Cancer, welcome to your astrology forecast for the month of April. And so before I get started, this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign or your ascendant, but it's also important for your sun sign and for your moon sign. So your rising sign or your ascendant is how other people perceive you, especially when they first meet you. The sun sign is how you express yourself. And so you can kind of see both ends there. And then from a moon sign, that's how you process everything emotionally. And so definitely subjective, how you process everything. Kind of a good idea to listen to all three, but if you're only going to listen to two, rising and your sun sign are really going to be important here. And so to kind of jump into the astrology, so we have a lot of Aries energy and a lot of Taurus energy in the month of April. And so for you, this is going to impact your 10th house of career and public reputation and your 11th house, your circle of friends. And so right away, April Fool's Day, we have Mercury stationing retrograde. And so we've actually been in the shadow period, even as I'm recording this. The shadow period started on March 18th. And so what happens is that the weeks leading up to Mercury retrograde, then the 3 weeks that it's stationed retrograde, and then post, there is still that kind of coming out of the shadow. So we're really in this energy until May 13th. And so Mercury is actually in the sign of Aries. So this is happening on the 1st. It's going to happen at 6:14 p.m. Eastern time. And when this happens, it's not alone in the sign of Aries. So we'll have Mercury, Chiron, Sun, and the North Node. That's going to become important later when we talk about the eclipse. And so all of that is in the sign of Aries. And so when Mercury stations retrograde, it's actually going to be square Pluto in Aquarius. And so Mercury in Aries, if we just forget the retrograde for a minute here, this is a lot of quick communication, very direct, very bold communication here. Aries is a cardinal sign, meaning that it does not shy away from any kind of conflict here. And Mercury being retrograde, instead of it being an outward type of communication or processing of information, now everything is directed inward. That's what retrograde planets do for us. And so it's taking that energy, it's directing it inside of us. Pluto in Aquarius is something that I mention frequently because it's energy that we're going to have for roughly 19 more years. And so Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarius is the rebel of the Zodiac. Pluto is all about transformation. So this is really about breaking down any kind of barriers or structures, anything that's holding you back from really whatever area it touches. And so when we look at Mercury square Pluto, what this means for you is Aries occupies your 10th house of career and public reputation. Pluto in Aquarius is actually occupying your 8th house. So the 8th house itself is transformation. So this is death and rebirth, intimacy, power and control issues. This could also relate to other people's money, including a mortgage, debt, spouse's income, earned income. So this would be the money that you get from an employer. So there's a lot that is happening here at the 8th house. And so when you look at the 10th house, 8th house, and if we look at it from like a money standpoint, so you've got your career and then we've got the money that you earn in your career here. And so what's happening is there's changes that you're trying to make to yourself. So this would be inward changes as they relate to your career. And it relates to this Pluto and Aquarius energy, because this is really about breaking down any kind of barriers. And so if there is some sort of financial restriction that is taking place, and maybe it's not even a financial restriction, maybe it's about some sort of power and control issue that is happening here, or some sort of transformation, this could indicate that in order for you to make more money, you need to change jobs. And in order for you to change jobs or even change your role within the company, there's something here that you need to think differently. You need to do something different, maybe take some different action, but it does start with an internal change here. At the same time that Mercury square Pluto, Mercury will also be conjunct Chiron. They're both in the sign of Aries. And so Chiron is the wounded healer. In the sign of Aries, this is a requirement to take action. That's what Aries does. Aries does not let you sit back and just let things happen. This is an action-oriented sign. And so with Mercury in Aries, conjunct Chiron in Aries, this is about any kind of wounds coming to the surface. There's something here that you need to internally process about this. There's something here, some sort of action, some sort of internal action as they relate to these wounds that are coming to the surface. And for you, this is in your 10th house of career and public reputation. And so wounds that could be coming to the surface, like feeling inadequate, just you're not good enough for the role that you have or the role that you're trying to achieve, any kind of career path that you're on. Maybe it's related to your public reputation, and there's something here with your public reputation, the way people see you, that brings old wounds to the surface, or maybe you're just afraid of showing your true self. So these are examples of how this energy could be coming out for you. Just know that this Chiron in Aries is going to be a common theme throughout the month of April. And so it's going to take different roles as we go through the month, but it's definitely coming to the surface. It's definitely requiring you to really think about things, process, and then take some action. And it does start with you. On the 5th at exactly midnight Eastern time, we'll have Venus enter Aries. And so now we'll have Mercury retrograde. We'll have Chiron, Sun, Venus, North Node, all in the sign of Aries. And right away, Venus will be conjunct Neptune, but Neptune is in the sign of Pisces. And so Venus is all about relationships and harmony and balance. And when it comes to Aries, this is about what kind of actions do you want to take as they relate to those Venus energies, or that Venus kind of subject matter. And then you've got Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune in Pisces is all about going after your dreams. And so this conjunction, even though they're in different houses, this is a blending of the energy. So for you, Aries is in your 10th house. So Venus is sitting in your career sector. So this is about, what do you want? What do you value in your career? And then for you, 9th house in Pisces. What kind of dreams do you have for yourself? So you think about like a 9th house, 10th house connection. So 9th house could be higher education, could be travel, long distance travel. It could be foreign countries, dealing with foreigners. This could be some sort of philosophy that you embody, meaning that we all have some sort of like moral compass. This would be your moral compass. And so looking at these two energies together, what are you trying to bring into balance, or what is it that you want in your career sector, and how can you build upon that? Is it going back to school, getting some sort of advanced degree? Is it going after a job that travels more? Could it be going to foreign countries or dealing with foreigners in that type of way? And so these are the kinds of things that are coming to the surface for you during this Venus and Aries energy. Now, while it's conjunct Neptune and Pisces, Venus is also going to be sextile Pluto in Aquarius. And so sextile just indicates there's an opportunity here. It's up to you to take some action. This is not energy that's going to happen organically. Pluto in Aquarius, back to your 8th house of transformation. So really the death and rebirth here. And so we're looking at what it is that you want from that career standpoint. What do you value? What are you trying to do? What kind of harmony and balance are you trying to bring to your careers? And then 8th house, what kind of barriers, what kind of structures need to be changed or broken down completely? Because that is Pluto in Aquarius, as far as the transformation goes, in order for you to have that career. Does it relate to money being earned? Because that is an 8th house energy. So is there some sort of structure? Is there something here that needs to change from that perspective? And these changes, again, this is going to be more internal than anything else, just because of that Mercury retrograde and how you're processing information at this point in time. Then we have the solar eclipse. So this is a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. And so what's interesting about this kind of combination is that the eclipse itself is going to be at 2:17 p.m. Eastern time. The new moon is going to be exact 4 minutes later at 2:21. And so that's a lot of Aries energy happening here. So we'll have the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Chiron, Venus, and then of course with this eclipse is in the North Node. So North Node in the sign of Aries, this is about the actions that you need to take, specifically with that Aries energy, but the North Node really reinforces that type of energy. And so all of this energy is sitting in your 10th house. So this is all sitting in your career and public reputation. And when this eclipse happens, really when the new moon itself happens as well, we'll have the moon and the sun. They're always at the same degree point in the sky, but it's the same degree point as Chiron. So they're all going to be sitting at 19 degrees. This is really highlighting any of these wounds related to your career and advancing your career or having the type of career that you want that are coming to the surface. And so this is really being highlighted. At the same time, we'll have the moon conjunct Mercury retrograde. And so again, when you think about what is coming to the surface to be healed, what kind of triggers are happening during this time? What is really coming to light for you so that you can make some adjustments here and really heal some of those wounds, really address some of those triggers. And so That Mercury retrograde, again, how you're processing everything with the moon, this is your emotions. Like, how do you process your emotions during this period? How do you handle all of these changes? We'll also have Mercury square Pluto in Aquarius. And so again, as you're processing all of these emotions, what changes need to happen here? What transformation needs to take place within you in order for this to come about? In order for you to heal from these wounds, what changes need to take place? That's really what it's coming down to. And this does feel like they're going to be sudden things. It's going to be like this information coming to the surface, but it's also going to be about any kind of obstacles and challenges to removing those barriers, because this is a square. And so if there is something here, it feels uncomfortable with these changes that are necessary in order for you to heal from whatever's coming to the surface. But that is all being highlighted here during this eclipse energy. And then on the 19th at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, so we'll have the sun enter Taurus. And so when that happens, we'll have the sun, Jupiter, and Uranus all in the sign of Taurus. The sun in Taurus. So the sun is all about illuminating things. It is how you express yourself in the sign of Taurus. This is about what you value. It's a very grounded energy. It's earth energy. And so this is, well, it's ruled by Venus. So if you think about all those Venus positive things where it's harmony in relationships and balance in your life and prioritizing what you value and really that kind of energy and really thinking about all of that, it is going to be conjunct Chiron in Aries. So the sun is sitting in Taurus, Chiron is still sitting in Aries, and they're conjunct, which means the energy is blended here. So when it comes to what you value, there is going to be this easy blend of, okay, what is it that I want? What kind of self-expression is giving me this ability to heal whatever is coming to the surface? And so the interesting piece here is that Taurus occupies your 11th house of friends. It's your community. It's the people that you choose to be around. And we still have the 10th house, obviously Aries energy. And so this is a blending of, could be your reputation across both sectors. It could be your public reputation at work. It could be your reputation among your friends. It could be the relationships among your friends, because this is the sun in Taurus. And so it's highlighting your relationships specifically. And so there's something about maybe wounds coming to the surface with your friends that highlight something within your career. Or this could be something about maybe pieces of your career that have caused friction with your friends. And that's a wound that's coming to the surface. Maybe your career doesn't allow you to have those kind of deep, meaningful connections with other people. This would be kind of some of those things that could be coming to the surface here. Some of those old wounds, old insecurities. And then we'll also have the sun square Pluto in Aquarius. And so again, Pluto in Aquarius, this is all about transformation for you. And so when you are around your friends, or when you're realizing some of the stuff related to your friends is coming to the surface, so your friends with your career and transformation, what kind of wounds are maybe holding you back in your career? How does that relate to your friends? Is there's this feeling of inadequacy? Or feeling like you might be judged for the type of career that you want here. And so there is some sort of transformation, this kind of death and rebirth that needs to take place inside of you. Again, all of this is being highlighted here. And then on the 20th at 10:27 p.m. Eastern time, we'll have Jupiter conjunct Uranus. And so they're both in the sign of Taurus. And so for you, this is all about your 11th house. This is your community, your friends. And this is about, okay, well, Jupiter is expansion and growth. Uranus is about change. So what kind of changes are taking place here within your friends? Because think about it, you've got all these wounds coming to the surface. Your friends have a role within how you're maybe understanding those wounds, addressing those wounds, that transformation that's taking place here. And so again, with the transformation, with these sudden changes, that is Uranus. In order to grow your relationships with your friends, what needs to change? So that is being highlighted here. And then on the 23rd at 7:49 p.m. Eastern time, we will have the full moon in the sign of Scorpio. And so when this happens, we have the sun and the moon. They're at opposing points in the chart. And so we have the moon in Scorpio, and we'll have the sun in Taurus. And so again, sun in Taurus, highlighting relationships, all of those really great, pleasant things about harmony and balance. I mean, Taurus is ruled by Venus again, so it's really a positive energy there. Then we have the moon in Scorpio. And so this is about transformation. Scorpio is the sign of transformation. It is the death and rebirth sign. And so your emotional transformation as it relates to what is being highlighted, what you value within your relationships with other people. And so looking at the two houses that these occupy, so Moon in Scorpio occupies your 5th house. So this is hobbies, children, short-term relationships. It's really the things that you do for fun. And so an emotional change connected to that house as it relates to what you value, what you want, the types of, maybe the reputation you want among your friends, the relationships you want with your friends. So there is kind of this push-pull energy because it is an opposing energy. You can work through it. It is about finding the balance. That's why this full moon happens. And it is also about any kind of release. And so because Scorpio is transformation, there is something here that maybe you need to release. Maybe it's some sort of preconceived judgment about your hobbies. Maybe you're trying to make a hobby a career, and now you're being given an opportunity to say, I had these kind of self-limiting beliefs when it came to my hobby, and now I'm being given an opportunity to release them so that I can go after exactly what I want and have the type of relationships that I want, the friends that I want, all of those things. Then we have Mercury station direct. So that's going to happen on the 25th at 8:54 in the morning Eastern time. And so we'll still be in the post shadow until May 13th. So that's not going anywhere. But at this point, we only have Venus, Chiron, and Mercury in the sign of Aries. And so Mercury, now direct, will be conjunct Venus in Aries. And so Mercury, having been internal, is now going to be more external. So this is external communication. This is processing information that you receive from the outside instead of that internal processing. And so again, all of this is sitting in your 10th house of career. And so where you've been these wounds have been coming to the surface, you're trying to emotionally and logically think through and process all of that information. Now this is giving you the ability to speak out. Have the conversations around what it is that you're trying to accomplish within your career. Then we have Venus enter Taurus. So that's going to happen on the 29th at 7:32 in the morning Eastern time. And so when it happens, we'll have the Venus, Sun, Uranus, and Jupiter planets all in the sign of Taurus, with Venus being the ruler of Taurus specifically. And so Venus will be conjunct the Sun. This is really about your friends again, because that's what Taurus occupies. And so thinking about what it is that you want, how do you want to express yourself? What kind of relationships do you want to have? And so this is a lot of that kind of bridging what you've been feeling all month and having these kind of, I don't want to say easy, but more emotionally balanced conversations with your friends, really trying to maybe even mend some friendships here. Maybe that's connected to some of these old wounds coming to the surface. There is this kind of love that you're feeling for your circle of friends and really just embracing that type of energy because you're expressing yourself with that sun energy. Then we'll also have Venus conjunct Chiron in the sign of Aries. And so now what we're talking about here is all of those old wounds, maybe those wounds connected to your career, public reputation, whichever they may be, as they relate to your group of friends. So as you're thinking about your friends and working on your relationships with your friends, how does that impact your career? Is there something here that kind of helps bring things back into balance for you? Because that is that energy here. It is a conjunction, so this is a blending of the energies. We'll also have Venus and the Sun in the sign of Taurus, square Pluto and Aquarius. So when you think about this harmony that you're trying to create, really what you're trying to go after when it comes to your friends, now we're talking about the 8th house. And so Pluto and Aquarius energy, what changes need to happen in order for you to have this kind of balanced, harmonious type of relationship with your friends? What needs to happen with your public reputation within your friends? Because that is being highlighted here. And so it is all about transformation. It is all about removing any kind of restrictions or barriers, even self-limiting behaviors that prevent you from having the types of relationships that you want. And then on the 30th, we'll have Mars enter Aries. So that happens at 11:33 in the morning Eastern time. And so when it happens, we'll have Chiron, Mercury, and Mars all in the sign of Aries, with Mars being the ruler of Aries. And so when you think about Mars, Mars is the god of war. So this is a very action-oriented planet, and it is about, okay, let's separate. If things don't work, let's not hold on to it anymore. Let's release it. That is definitely Mars energy. And so Mars in Aries will be conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And so when it comes to your dreams, and it comes to going after your dreams, is there something here that you need to take action on? Because that's what this energy is all about. Actioning your dreams. And so for you, Mars is sitting in your 10th house because that's where Aries is, and you've got the 9th house of Pisces. And so when you think about your career, What changes, what actions do you need to take in your career? And how do they relate to the growth that you want to see for yourself? How does that relate to the big picture? What kind of maybe truth to the situation are you seeing now? Because that is that ninth house energy. This is about seeing that ideal kind of fantasy, dream, goal that you have for yourself when it comes to your own personal growth. And so this is about what actions do you need to take. Mars will also be sextile the moon in Aquarius. And so moon in Aquarius, so we had Pluto in Aquarius that was all about breaking down those barriers. The moon is really about that emotional processing of this. So all these actions that you're taking from a transformation standpoint with that moon in Aquarius energy, what is it that's changing here? What actions do you need to take in order to process, emotionally process all of these changes that are taking place? Is there something here within your career that is providing you this opportunity to become more emotionally, I want to say like grounded, stable, but with this moon in Aquarius energy, because Aquarius is all about thought. It's an air sign, and so air sign is all about the intellect. This feels a lot like it's a balancing of your emotions. So it's a mind and emotions kind of balancing with the actions that you're taking here. So this is where the transformation is taking place. It's really giving you this opportunity to balance yourself out based on the actions you're taking in your career. We'll also have Mars sextile Pluto in Aquarius, and so very similar energy. This is about removing those obstacles, standing in the way of this emotional transformation, of this emotional balancing that's taking place within you as it relates to your career. Then we'll also have Mars sextile Jupiter in Taurus, and so Jupiter in Taurus is sitting in your house of friends, and so you can see how everything is really playing together here. When it comes to your career and the actions you're taking in your career, what kind of opportunity is that presenting for you when it comes to your friends and your circle of friends? How does that enhance your relationships with your friends? Is there something here that maybe enhances is what I keep getting, but it does feel like you want to expand and grow your relationships with your friends, and you're being given this opportunity, and there's something with your career that's really going to help kind of move that forward. So Cancer, this is your reading for the month of April. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.